Hello. Thought I'd do a quick video because some dick over in the next street over here built a big tin shed about a month ago. And ever since then, nearly every day, he goes and plays his music. The music's not so bad, but it's a cheap system with that horrible boomy, boxy bass. You know, if it was just the music, it wouldn't worry me at all. But it drives me nuts. And so I thought I'd come out here and make a quick little vid. You know, I've been watching these audio files going off, boasting about how much they've paid for records and that. You know, like it's only €200. It's only 300. You know, I paid 3,000 euros, and it wasn't even an original. You know, it's like poor little spoilt rich kids. You know, but the thrill's long gone. The highlight, the heyday for collecting vinyl. This is from an old hand that started in the late 50s. As a youngster, I must say. Um, um, the heyday was the early 80s. Just as vinyl was starting to... No, vinyl was still selling well. But as the CD started to come in, so it's right on that sort of cusp. What I'm trying to say is that a lot of records that were highly collectible in the early 80s were collectible because they weren't available on CD. And it took nearly 10 years before a lot of the stuff that used to be, you know, really sought after vinyl collectibles were freely available on CD. So the glory time for buying original vinyl for peanuts. Now, the trick with us old school record collector types was the least amount of money you paid for something that was super rare at the time. That is a grail. That is a grail. You know, not some phony bullshit, but this was a grail. At the time, it was the rarest Yardbirds EP in the world. Yes, I think there was an Indian one that had the same cover, the black and white cover. By the way, this is the Roger the Engineer cover from their album. But it was rare and collectible because it was black and white with a very rare photo on the back with showing both Jimmy Page and Jeff Beck in the group. This is an Australian one. It's even got the price up here. $1.50 for an extended play. And that was common in those days for someone to write, a small mum and pop shop. This probably came from my local record shop because I bought this at a school fete, very early 80s. And I've told this story in a previous video a few years ago. And I've always had the advantage of being tall, and this paid off in this circumstance. So I was queued up. I saw a little box full of records, and there was this little fat kid in front of me. I was in my early 30s. This little kid was probably, 12, 13, 14. And there was a little bunch of EPs, and I just got there just as he was starting to go through them. He pulled one out, and it was the Supremes, and I thought, oh dear, there's going to be something here for sure. And so I kept my eyes peeled. I didn't even see Yardbirds. All I saw was the black. Just the black. As soon as he started to lift it, I just knew it was going to be this. I knew, because very few EPs were black. It's just experience. And I just went, pulled it out of his hand, just went, oof, like that. And he went, what? And I said, tough luck, mate. What are you going to do about it? He's going, nothing, sir, you know. And I walked 5 cents. 5 cents. This is the ultimate grail for me. Not so much as it's a great record per se. It's not really. It's got three throwaway tracks off the Roger the Engineer album, and probably their worst single, Over Under Sideways Down, which is just rock around the clock, done with a sitar or something. That's why I hate Painted Black, because the only person who could get away with doing sitar type sounds was really Jeff Beck. And it didn't work on Painted Black. So that's enough of that waffle. The good old days. That's why I'll never part with this. This used to go for $400, 40 years ago. So that's just. No, I'm not on Discogs. I was never even. Not interested. Not interested in any of that. It's the good old days are long gone. And this was the greatest of my in the wild finds for the least amount of money, 5 cents. Oh, and by the way, it's in excellent condition. So enough of that. Bye now.